I am back, baby. Well, we got some crazy news. They don't think they can hit 200 and my candidate's like minimum 200. Oh, we're talking about a $50,000 gap.
They'd like to offer me the position.
Not the way we want to end this week to go. Hello and welcome to yet again another week in the life, what I do every single day as a recruiter in the technology industry. As you know, again, this is not my normal setup. If you saw my last week's video, I am still finishing and enjoying my Thanksgiving holiday in the middle of nowhere surrounded by nature. But with that said, I am still working half days on Monday, half days Tuesday. We'll be driving back home on Wednesday and should be back to our full setup on Thursday and Friday. I am pretty pumped because not only am I relaxed and recharged from the vacation, but this is the last week of November, the first week of December, the last month of 2021. This is the time, if there is any time this year, to be super focused, vigilant, be crystal clear on what you have to do, and let's freaking crush our goal. So again, just like November, we almost have like 2-3 full weeks here in America before the holidays really kick in. So I'm gonna really just do what I can and push myself as much as I can so that we can finish this year off strong to not only hit our goals, but also to make sure that we create enough energy and momentum coming into January of next year. If you've been following for a while, I'm always thankful and grateful if you just joined. Welcome. This has been one heck of a roller coaster of a year with highs, with lows, with challenges and successes. And I'm just grateful for it all. And there's no better way to commemorate this year by having a strong finish, like you know I always love to do. So if you are as excited as I am to really finish December off with the bang, to really finish off this first week in December with great momentum going to the second week, please consider liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. It really means a lot. It really gives us the energy, inspiration, and focus to do the best that we can together. I'm excited. We got a lot of simmering candidates moving towards the later stages. No clear offers yet. I got 4 interviews happening today, another 3 interviews happening tomorrow. Candidate calls are getting packed. So far, even though half the week is still technically a vacation, we're getting good responses, we're getting good engagement, and interviews are getting scheduled. So got about 8 different candidate calls today. Got a bunch of interviews. Hopefully they go well. And either way, let's make this a great week. All right, a couple interesting things just happened. One of my e-commerce clients in the consumer electronics space reached out to us, and they're really asking us to help with a new e-commerce kind of Amazon marketplace manager position. This is actually a position that we helped source for earlier this year with not much luck. We had a couple close calls, but they ended up pausing that because they had someone on the team that they just wanted to kind of proceed with on an hourly part-time basis. But I think that didn't really work out, so they're looking to reopen that and want to engage us. Again, this is not really one of our specialty positions. It's certainly a lot more I would say easier than, like, for example, the thermal and electrical engineering positions I did a while ago. So I'm definitely gonna take a stab at it. I personally love e-commerce. We work with a ton of e-commerce D2C companies. It's gonna take a little adjustment. I probably have to think of new ways, new tools, new job boards, new ways of creating engagement and responses to candidates because it's not the tech industry. And even though most of the things work across all industries, you still have to adapt to the different sectors and markets you do work with. So I'm gonna be trying kind of new tactics, new strategies, new messaging, new outreach here. But on the whole, it's gonna really be the same playbook. I'm gonna first look at my database to see if I have anyone there. I don't have that many people. And then we're gonna just start and utilize a lot of variety of different tools to kickstart a bunch of different targeted searches and campaigns. And I know also that in this space, the marketing space, the operational e-commerce space, candidates are typically responsive. But again, we're in December, holidays, New Year's Eve around the corner. A lot of people are traveling, a lot of people are not working, or they're just not even in the job search mode, so things will be a little bit slower than expected, but we'll do our best to try to at least get a couple more responses. So far, pretty exciting start. Aside from that, we do have a couple people pushing forward for an associate accounts director role, business development manager role. I'm going to do a huge sourcing push today on business development, business operations, marketing data, and marketing analyst, both in Colorado, both in New York, and just do a couple kind of wide targeting campaigns for people around the US because these positions are open to fully remote. Those positions specifically with pipelines a little bit weak. I hit them a couple times last week and the week before, but again, due to Thanksgiving, due to the holidays, things are a little bit slower. So it takes a little bit more effort and persistence to reach out to people to garner great responses. So my focus is on that. I still am taking our director of product, lead product designer role seriously as well, because those can be great commissions, and those are also working with an amazing company in New York City, one of the OG tech companies, and I'm just very, very grateful to work for them. And so just want to do what I can to make sure the pipeline remains consistent. So on the agency side, we have so many open positions. It's really, really important to always have a high level look on all pipelines to see how they're doing. Some of them are higher priority than others, so maybe you want to kind of focus on those. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to be consistent with all pipelines. Depending on the position, some of them will garner faster responses than others, which will have a longer response time, a longer life cycle. So you can prioritize, you can time manage, and you can just focus on certain jobs. And maybe once you do a couple of campaigns there, then you can focus on a couple others. But for me, I just never like to kind of follow the whole random spraying approach and just aimlessly working on all the open positions at the same time. It's not the best use of my time. It's not efficient. It's not the best time management. So I like to just be systematic and really categorize all my open roles and prioritize them in terms of the ones that are most billable, the highest response times, all the way to the ones that are the most difficult, lowest response times. You still want to get through all of them, but I'm going to get through them systematically so that hopefully as I'm nearing and working towards the roles that take long to respond, I'm getting a lot of responses from the roles that would typically get better responses. So I can have those candidate intake calls faster and my week will be packed, and I can continuously qualify, screen, and submit while working on the harder ones at the same time and rinse and repeat. Hope that makes sense, but that's kind of my thought process when I have to handle volume open roles at the same time. But it's only 11:30 here on a Monday morning. Everything's going well. Things are pretty busy. Gonna be working here for another hour or two, and then we're just gonna enjoy the rest of the day and do some other fun stuff. Well, we got some crazy news. So heard back from one of my hiring managers in my personal finance startup. We do indeed have a candidate for a product manager position that just completed her last stage last week. They asked for her references. She's a senior product manager. Everyone loved her. The only concern is that based on her skill set, her experience, the team kind of overall agreed that she would be best being a product manager on their team, not a senior product manager. Now, if you're hearing this for the first time and that doesn't make any sense, it's actually quite typical here in the tech industry. Titles compared to many other industries tend to be fairly fluid here, and also a title at one place can mean something completely different from a title another place. It also changes when someone's coming out of a smaller company or someone's coming out of a bigger company. So the good news here is that my candidate was a senior PM, but before that she was a director of PM, but she also, when I first spoke with her, she admitted that title was very inflated. And even though she's a senior PM, and ideally, if she were to find another job, ideally, if she can at least move laterally to another senior PM, that would be ideal. But title is not everything for her. What's more important is joining an established team, which she doesn't have, having a remote position, which she also doesn't have, and having a clear trajectory of growth, which again, unfortunately, she doesn't have at her current job, which is the whole reason why she's looking. So it's not gonna be, again, exciting for her to know that she's gonna have to be considered as a PM while she's a senior PM, but for her, she's all about the long-term mindset, and she understands the things that are more important to her than just how it looks optically on the resume. And to me as a recruiter, that's the best thing ever, having a candidate understand that even before me having to kind of share my thoughts regarding that. So I don't even have to address that at the moment. I can really focus on what matters to her and try to make sure we get all our ducks in a row regarding those priority items. So per the action items here, the hiring manager will reach out to her. Depending on how that goes, they will verbally extend. This is also a company that is still not doing the best in terms of offering competitive salaries. They typically come right underneath because they also offer equity, and they're also with that mentality we want to attract the right people who don't want to just care about the full maximum salary, but who wants to join our mission and who wants to have a great future with us, blah, 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 blah. And while that's great and all, after last year, things are totally different, and they have to understand that they have to stretch more than ever before last year, before a year and a half, because the market is a talent market. And if you're a good professional like my candidate, you will have way more options than you'd ever have in your career. So if they have way more options, other companies are willing to pay a premium. So my client can't continue to lowball, because that will just end up being offensive, and it's just gonna continually add to the struggle of them scaling and recruiting and hiring. She's looking for at least 115, which is thankfully within the band here, as long as the conversation goes well and my hiring manager is able to effectively sell the opportunity. There should be a positive outcome, and most likely you're going to have to come in afterwards to see if we have to renegotiate or I need to help her in any other way. So that's great news. I also heard that they have one of our product designers going through the references. Now, this is exciting, but what I also don't like is that the hiring manager here, the UX design manager, didn't really keep me in the loop. Like, I'm not CC'd on anything despite me asking. I know it's a pain in the ass, but like, it's not that much I'm asking for just to be CC'd. And I hope they understand the reason why I do that is so we can be kept abreast with the candidate process. And if we know a candidate is moving forward, we can do our best to slowly start closing them and making sure that their mentality and everything is primed, so when an offer comes out, we can maximize the success of them accepting. So I wasn't able to do all of that. And again, I don't really blame the client here, because things are a little bit slower. Things are falling through the cracks because of the holidays, because of Thanksgiving. I mean, heck, I'm in the middle of nowhere right now, and a lot of people are traveling, spending time with friends and family. But the later stages a candidate gets to, the more important it is to have high touch points and really, really, really just be vigilant on all aspects and how we can help and just get this through. The issue with this one, though, is that they're not going to be able to pay what my designer is looking for. She's at least looking for 120. They're probably going to come in at 110 with equity, which is not the end of the world. But if they can at least do maybe like 115 or higher, that will be a little more competitive. But 120 is her minimum. It's not even her ideal ask. So this company is going below our candidates' minimums, which is never ideal, especially in a market as competitive as this, especially with aggressive hiring goals on their end that they want to hire people before the holidays. So two good news either way. I mean, if both these close, it would be an amazing month, an amazing end of the new year, but we still have a lot of work to do just to even get one done. So I'm going to be focused on this throughout the week. I am about to leave soon just to enjoy the remainder of the day. But if anything happens here that requires my attention, I will do what I can, which is what comes to the territory of being a recruiter. We have to be on call. And if you're on vacation, you're traveling, you have to be accessible, especially if something as an offer stage, negotiations, or any emergency or fires come around, you have to be there. Because if you don't, you'll increase the chances more and more and more of the offer falling through, and it's not gonna happen. Candidate's not gonna get a job, your client's not gonna hire, you're not gonna get paid. So don't want that to happen. Wanna make sure that we start off December on a high note here, but Monday, not even noon, two potentially really, really good news with a lot of other candidates simmering through. So fingers crossed. This is our last morning, about to leave in a couple hours, drive back home to DC. And I have to say, this was one of the best Thanksgivings we've ever had. Very relaxing, very enjoyable, had a great time, relaxed, did a little planning, did a little reading, everything you're supposed to do. And I feel recharged and optimistic and excited to finish this last month of 2021 off. A couple of things happened yesterday. I heard back from an e-commerce client, consumer electronics space. They want our help to find a e-commerce manager. One of my health kind of dental tech clients reached out to me. We've been helping them with the recruiting or people ops position. And the founder emailed me this morning saying, hey, we'd love to see a couple more candidates before the holidays. Jumping on the phone with another great kind of HR benefits client that we've helped a lot over the years. They're looking for another senior software engineer. So I'm gonna hop on the phone with them as well. And then I think just recalibrating and reaching out to a lot of other clients and hiring managers and founders so that we can kind of make sure we come up with a clear plan of action for December. It's really 3 weeks between now and New Year's Eve, and things are starting to slow down significantly. So right now, my objective, my focus is to understand which of my clients are still desperate and aggressively hiring, which of them are willing to move fast, and which of them are more likely or most likely for us to make a deal as soon as possible before the holidays. Of course, our attention will be with all of our clients. Really want to do the best with everyone, but I know some of them are slower, some of them are not as hiring as aggressively, while others are. So I know it's a huge push for all companies right now to make their last kind of hiring numbers and hit their goals for this last month. So I'm going to be doing a lot of phone calls with a lot of clients, old and new, this week to pick up new roles, to get on the same page, or just to even debrief with how everything's going in pipeline and progress, so that we know coming into the second half of the week and into next week, we know exactly what to do, and we're going to do our best to hit it hard. Oh yeah, one more thing. We also just heard from one of our D2C clients in Boston that we've been recruiting for the past couple months to help them for a head or director of product. The founder just emailed me yesterday when I'm traveling. He's like, hey, can we talk? And I emailed him saying, I can't talk right now. I'm traveling, I'm on the road. But he's like, look, just wanted to give you an update. We love one of the candidates that you're sending. He went through all the processes with the team. The team loves him. We want to go through references. And I just want to double check to see what his salary expectations are, because depending on that, we feel good to move forward. So this could be another monster deal for us. And I'm super pumped. So I emailed him saying, hey, his hard minimum is 125. Ideally looking for 150. And compared to all the other candidates that you've been interviewing, this guy's actually pretty affordable considering he's interviewing for a director or head of product position. So I believe they had a chat yesterday at 4 p.m. Seemed like it went well. And the founder said that he's going to follow up with my candidate today just to see if he has any questions. But I mean, this is amazing. There's not much more I could do here. The candidate seems excited. The client seems to have sold the opportunity well enough. And hopefully, if everything makes sense, if everything's aligned, maybe they can move forward. And that would be like an offer without me doing that much more work while I'm traveling here, enjoying my last day of vacation. So again, it always seems like every time I travel, every time it's holidays, deals, offers happen. I have a couple more things in the fire, as I told you yesterday. Got to make sure this product designer, product manager, at least one of them moves forward. I will do my best to push both them forward, but the client is tough because they typically lowball, or they're not willing to pay super market, so that's going to be difficult. So it's all about selling, and shifting the candidate's focus away from the salary and numbers and more about the equity, the benefits, the X factors, the intangibles, and the future. Really sell them on short-term, long-term, and their future prospect and career prospect at this company to get them excited and to remind them why they're looking for a job in the first place. Both candidates are not solely focused on the salary. Salary is an important component, however, but they want other important things like the growth, team aspect, team size, how fast, how well the company's doing, the founders, etc., which I know my candidate checks off all the boxes. So a lot of things going on. Did a little sourcing yesterday, did a little sourcing today, but going to be leaving very, very soon, driving all day through this beautiful snow. Hopefully I get back home safe, and then expecting from Wednesday to Friday should be back into the trenches with you all, back at our home setup, and hoping to kind of, let's see what kind of month we're going to be looking at in December and how we're going to end this week. So very excited, blessed, and grateful for this amazing vacation. Had a wonderful time. I should be doing this more often, and grateful for you all, and hope so far everyone's having a great week, and looking forward to seeing you back at home in my home office soon. Things are looking and sounding like things are progressing really well, which is great.
Sounded like they wanted to move forward, and they just asked for references, so I provided those. Their HR team was going to reach out to those references, and then I should hear back probably sometime this week.
If and when we do get there, my job is to really be there in your corner, to really fight for you, really help you, answer any questions that you may have. If offer does come out, it's never kind of take it or leave it. There's always something that we can kind of go back. And how are you feeling? Are you pretty excited about everything? You're really positive?
Yeah, I'm super excited about the role. I'm glad that it's gone so well so far. It was really nice to get so much positive feedback, and it's moved fairly quickly, all things considered. Definitely just want to see everything in writing once we do get that official offer, and then maybe we can go through it together. If I have any questions, I'll let you know.
I know that you and I spoke and you said, given the right opportunity, you would be flexible, but ideally you'd be looking for like 115 or higher. Obviously 120 or anything around that or higher is more of a cherry on top. But yes, they do offer equity. They do offer benefits, tons of room for growth. They just want to just make sure that, you were okay with the PM title, knowing that there's obviously tons of room for growth on the team. And it sounds like that's okay for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was one thing that Will called about yesterday, and I was fine with that.
I am back, baby. Oh my God. It feels so good to be at home again. A lot of things happening right now. So I just got on the phone with the candidate, did a great process call. She's with a product manager, contender for a fintech company, and she just talked with my hiring manager yesterday. They seemed like they had a great chat. The hiring manager was concerned that she would not like to be called the PM, a product manager, because she's already a senior product manager. But because our client is a larger company and the product org is the largest product org that my candidate would ever work with, she was okay with that. And I knew that would have been fine because, again, title's not everything for her. It's all about the org, the team, the company, her scope, current and future. In terms of salary, everything looks lined up here so far. My candidate's looking for 115 or higher. They're looking for between 110 to 120. There's also bonus and equity on top of that. So I think all in all, everything's great. She sounds super, super positive, and hoping that references go through, we can smooth sail here into an offer. So very, very excited. That will be a key focus today onward. I also had a candidate start today with a brand new company. So I just need to confirm that my candidate has started. And once that's done, I will go ahead and send out an invite, which is a great commission there. I have to also sync up with another product design candidate. That could be a little bit fishy in terms of my fintech company. They're not sure if they can meet her minimum ask. So it's going to be another one of these situations where I really have to have the candidate focus on the bonus, the equity, the scope, and her overall future at the company, just not focusing too much on the salary here. I also haven't just spoke with her in a while because it's Thanksgiving, I was traveling. So I just wanted to touch base with her just to see where she's at, how she's feeling about everything, and hoping to kind of help get that across the finish line too. We had a candidate for a director VP of product with the founder yesterday. Heard back from the founder this morning. The candidate is still excited, but needs to kind of think things through, which is not really the best sign. He's asking the founder to give him at least till like Friday or maybe even Monday. So I immediately sent an email out to my candidate just to touch base, what his concerns are, and see how we can help the situation and how we can really push him to close. That's also just really, really good news. They had a great chat with the founder. They already discussed an offer. I don't know exactly what was discussed, so it's up to me to really kind of recalibrate after my vacation here, sync up with my candidate, see exactly what he's thinking, see exactly what he's excited about, and if there are any concerns or questions, how we can help. Other than that, I am doing my best to really source a huge push this morning on HR people operations manager. I think after I hit that, I'm gonna hit director of product as well as product managers, and then if I have time later today, I might just do another kind of really big marketing hit. But right now I only have like 3 candidate calls, only because I turned my calendar off today because I knew I was going to travel, but I luckily got back home last night. But we still have 2 interviews today, 1 interview tomorrow, and 2 on Friday. So things are still moving forward, and now that I'm back, gonna really be injecting some effort here, some consistency, some discipline to try to build up the pipeline again so that we can pack this week, pack next week, and make it a great December. But I'm feeling great, well rested, ate a lot, and just grateful for the opportunity to just take a week off in nature and being on the water, which was absolutely amazing. So feel really, really happy about everything. And now my focus is on these outstanding offers or candidates in late stages and trying to push and end the week off strong. Let's do it.
In order for me to make a decision, it would have to come with a package that makes sense for me. I think that the opportunity absolutely excites me. The people I have met are really great, and the team looks really, really solid. Those 2 things would have to somewhat make sense in order for me to have no doubt whether that's the right move for me.
They're an established startup, right? So with that, you'll have an opportunity to wear a lot of multiple hats, which is why the scope will never be crystal clear. I think additional conversations with them can definitely clarify more outstanding questions if you have that. Yes, like, when I mentioned to you, I think it does come with an attractive package. So there's salary, in addition to potentially equity, bonus, tons of room for growth. I still think it's aligned with what you're looking for.
I am interested in this opportunity, so I'm hoping that the timetables kind of don't collide, and I'm able to make the right decision.
Yeah.
Right?
So just got off the phone with a candidate, did a quick process call with him. He's actually a candidate for director of partnerships with our private jet client. Now he is slowly moving forward through the process, but a couple issues. Number one, there might be a small little pushback from another member of the team regarding his background. Overall, it's pretty positive, but this one person's like, I think we need to interview people with more partnership experience. That's not a complete deal breaker, but I think they still want him to chat with other members of the team, which is great. But number two, he might be considered for internal promotions. Now we're fighting against the clock here, and I just need to make sure we push him across the finish line, get him an offer if they want to move forward with him, so that we can get in, offer him something attractive before this internal promotion comes. So I'm going to actually hop on the phone with my client in about an hour. I'm going to bring this up to her attention, hoping, it's good news instead of her, wanting to maybe just like reject him off the bat, but fingers crossed. But now it's going to require a little bit more tact, a little bit more, requiring me to be more alert, as now we're fighting against time here, which is not really that fun. But overall, he sounds positive, client sounds positive, and I just want to get this to the offer as fast as we can.
I'm in Florida, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, she's in Florida too. So again, I'm going to talk to her in about an hour to kind of maybe get the exact address or where she is. But if you can just send me an email with what days and times you're available to meet in person, she will love to be able to set that up sooner than later.
Absolutely. The only thing, Preston, is I'm going to be away on a business trip on starting on Monday through Wednesday of next week. And before that, it's a little complicated in my schedule. So, well,
I'm a little bit worried about the internal timeline here. So I'd rather it not wait till next week. But if that's the best that you can do, then yeah, we can make the most of it. But if there's any way, maybe you can meet her in the evenings or something. Like if that's a possibility this week or maybe over the weekend, I think that would be ideal.
There isn't a specific time frame that I've been pushed for yet. So it was just more preliminarily that I was letting you know. So I don't want you to feel like there is a timetable right here at all.
Keep in mind that they're actively interviewing for this role. So if you can't talk to them till next week, that just gives them more opportunity to talk to somebody else. And so, we want to be competitive on all fronts as best as we can. All right, so just got off the phone with my candidate. Funny enough, the one I just spoke with, I just got an email from the client saying, hey, I actually want to meet him in person. So whatever reservations her teammate had wasn't enough, which is great. She's in Florida, he's in Florida. And when I broached the subject with my candidate, he's like, well, this week is horrible. I just got back from Thanksgiving. Weekends are no-go, and next week might be best. But I told him, hey, look, there's a possibility you can get a promotion internally any day now. Our client, the company you interviewed at, which you're excited about, is interviewing other people. So we can totally find a way to interview with them next week. But if you do that, you're giving them, our client, more opportunities to talk to and like somebody else. And, if you do get the internal promotion, that's gonna stress you out to having to push them back. So I think, it just makes sense for you to see if we can find a way you can connect with my hiring manager this week. If it's after hours on the weekend, so be it. Please let me know. And he's like, you know what, that makes sense. I'll get back to you. It's logic. And if you've been watching a couple of my videos before, you know that we have to do our best as recruiters, as the middleman, to control the process as much as possible. If you have a candidate that is doing well, you want your candidate to go through every stage as fast as possible, because the company will continue to interview other people. So if they find someone else better than your candidate, they're gonna hire someone else, not your candidate, you're not gonna get paid. or if the candidate is also interviewing with other companies, internal, external, and that's happening, then if you do get to the offer with your client, that just makes it a lot more complex situation where you have to think about negotiations, bidding, where it just becomes a mess. This is a small example of how I can control the process as much as possible, really fighting for my candidate, really pushing him forward. I still am going to be jumping on the call with my hiring manager about an hour, and I'm going to just make sure we can nail down the address, make it known to her that he is expecting internal promotion, so we need to accelerate the process as much as possible and not drag this out. He's already talked to like 3 other people. So on the whole, everything's looking good, but like now I'm again racing against time, making sure that we can get him through before he gets this other interview, and then we can really just focus on the offer terms and do our best and maximize the chance of hiring him. So, crazy first day being back. They were impressed. They were very, very positive. So great job.
Oh, thank you. For me, it was also great to meet the team, the offices. They are great. It was super exciting, to see all this activity and all these projects. I still, I'm eager to see the platform by itself.
Nice. So I'm kind of curious, what about them specifically, are you really excited about? You mentioned team, you mentioned the platform, you mentioned the office. Is there anything else about the position that really excites you?
Yeah, I think that what really excites me, first of all, is the product itself.
In our first conversation that you might be willing to be flexible for salary, you said ideally you'd be looking for 200. Maybe you can go down to 160 or 170. Maybe if there's also bonus or equity. Is that still correct?
To agree on 200 plus 50 based on performances. I don't think we discuss equity. But it's not. This is something I would love, but it can come in the conversation later. I don't know. But yesterday we talked about 200K plus 50K.
Oh, okay. So you've already talked about comp with her then?
Yeah. Of course, yeah. No, I've been very transparent because I told Diana right now I'm making 250K, and the reason why I want to move it because I want to be part of the project for the long term. So I also want to be incentive on the results. She told me that she could make space for 200K plus 60K. So that's great.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I was just going to ask you, what if, they can't hit 200K? What if they can only do 170 or 180? Is that a deal breaker for you?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, to be honest, because honestly, 200, I discussed about, I told her that my minimum would be 200K.
So even 190 or something might be too low for you?
Yeah, it would be too low. Honestly, 200K is the first step.
Okay, gotcha. And then, if everything made sense, did you ever think about a potential start date? What would that look like for you? Just did an amazing process call with yet again another candidate. This candidate is for an associate vice president of paid media for an ad tech company, and this guy has been going through every single round and been crushing it. Also, just a really overall nice guy from France, really strong French accent, who knows exactly what he's doing, just making the whole process look easy. The reason why I have a process call with him is I just got an email from my client a moment ago that they might be thinking of extending an offer to this guy. And because of that, they want me to jump on a Zoom call with them in about an hour and a half to discuss the best moving forward. Now, before a company reaches an offer, I always like to do a process call, really dive deep and understand exactly how the candidate is feeling, what they're most excited about, what are some big concerns, what are their salary expectations, what are their start dates, are they interviewing with any other companies, all this information. So it's good for me to know so I can best navigate moving forward, but I can also share some of the main highlights back to our company that if they do want to move forward with any of our candidates, they know exactly how to move forward in the best way possible to maximize the chance of closing and the candidate saying yes. The best clients are ones that heed our notes, that heed our opinions, and then recalibrate and adjust their offering terms to make them aligned with the real-time update that we provide them. A lot of times clients would read our emails, would listen to us when we talk to them over the phone, but they're just gonna still follow their regular levels, regular bands, or even lowball them. And that's when things start getting a little bit more difficult, when a company is not willing to offer what the candidates are looking for. Yes, some candidates, what they look for expectations-wise are way beyond the top level and the top range, but most on the whole are fairly competitive. And I would say 95, 96% of what candidates are looking for, even though a lot of them want to be moving forward in salary, 95% of the time, 96% of the time, it's really justifiable and it's reasonable, especially when it's a talent market right now. Everyone's going after the same candidates, so companies just really have to do whatever they can to put their best foot forward and play their strongest hand. I still don't understand why companies would just start with a low ball and see how the candidate reacts and then negotiate up from there, because if you do that, you can also risk candidates just getting an offer so low that it immediately offends them. They get really mad and they don't even want to bother negotiating, which happened to me and happened to a lot of candidates throughout this year. And so I keep telling companies that, this tactic may have worked before COVID and everything, but that does not work right now. And you definitely don't want to piss off the candidate unnecessarily at the offer stage. Right now, the funny thing is with this market, the companies are the candidates, and usually it's the other way around where candidates have to really try hard and sell themselves to do well in the interview. But the companies also now, because there's so many competition for the small amount of talent, they have to try even harder to sell the candidates on who they are, why candidates should choose them and not any other company. What also really can make it or break it is how is the overall candidate experience with your company. If it's the best company in the world, but it's a crappy experience, and they interviewed at a tier B company with the best experience and best team, that's usually enough to tip the needle for candidates to move to the other company. So every touch point, from the first round to references to negotiations to all the interview stages in between, are super important. One big mess up can make it or break it for a candidate. It's especially important that, if you're gonna come out and you still think your candidate's looking for something that's too high, just try to do your best to hit that range and don't be offensively low and justify it saying, well, they get equity. Well, you know what? Every startup offers equity, and people are generally more risk averse right now and believe less in equity. They want cash, hard-earned cash, because of the market and what happened the past year and a half. So hopefully it's good news. I did a couple deals with these guys already. They don't lowball, which is great, but they're typically on the lower end. This guy my candidate is making $250 right now. I think the highest they can go is like $190, $200. I just spoke with him and he's like, hey, I'm also interviewing other companies, but based on my experience so far and potential other offers I can get, it only makes sense for me to move for at least $200. So I'm gonna jump on the phone with the hiring manager soon and really just nail down that point, because that is key. If they're gonna come out with $160, $180, they shouldn't even bother. It's a waste of everyone's time. If they really like him and want to move forward, they have to hit $200. If for any reason they can't hit 200, they have to throw in a sign-on bonus, do whatever they can with extra ammo to make it compelling for the candidate. But everything still looks great. Candidate is very, very excited, ranks our company #1. And we'll see how the talk with the founder goes. But I also have a call with my client in about 5 minutes with my aviation tech company, which is pretty sick. And then we'll be jumping on a Zoom call later today. Fingers crossed. So he's still super pumped. He's very excited. The only thing is, I spoke with him earlier today. It seems like he might be getting maybe a promotion internally for a new job. Nothing is confirmed.
Him too?
Yeah, him too. Nothing is confirmed. He doesn't know when it's going to happen. So, I told him to just keep us updated real time, but he is very much excited about you and the opportunity. He actually prefers that over this one, but, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen immediately, but it could happen in the next several days. So I also let him know that, you're open to meeting him in person. I don't know, he's also in Florida. I don't know how far or close he is to you. Did you want to coordinate directly with him?
He was in Fort Lauderdale.
Where are you located?
In Fort Lauderdale.
Oh.
I'll do direct. Question. You're right. It's easier for me to do it that way.
He would rather meet with you sooner than later because he has no idea when this internal promotion opportunity is going to drop on him, and they're going to push him a little bit. So
he's kind of interesting. He's in no rush to meet. He's like, yeah, maybe we'll meet for a drink. I'm like, Not sounding like someone's really looking to get a job, but worth meeting him.
We will continue to hit a lot of other great partnership and even kind of creative folks for you. So like, you know, we can help build that pipeline to kind of make a couple hires possible here before the holidays.
Yeah, because I got to make it, like, I got to hit 2022 ground running. Like, we got to bring people on board right away.
All right, let's do it. For the creative director, design director role, like, I know you said you prefer to talk to people that are currently directors. Like, would you be open to talking to managers, or is that a little bit too junior for you? Should we still stick with directors?
What would a manager be? An art director?
No, like kind of like a design manager.
No, I don't even know what that is.
A design manager basically manages a part of the team but reports to the director. You know what I mean? But it sounds like you're looking for a director who has ownership of the creative direction, ownership of entire teams or verticals. Okay,
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Are you open now to talk to people a little bit just outside of Florida and New York, but keeping it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Okay. And anywhere on the East Coast?
It feels like there's good talent here in Miami. Everyone's, especially now during the winter, people have moved back down here.
We'll obviously prioritize those, but we'll kind of open up a little bit more because I want you to have a great pipeline like ASAP. The only other question I have is for the partnership, is that more of like a business strategic corporate partnership role or more of a marketing partnership role? Like what?
I'd say it's like 75% BD, business development, 25% marketing, but it's definitely a blend. Someone who gets driving partnerships that are on brand, that are also going to create awareness and press, but are negotiating business deals.
All right, so spoke with my hiring manager who is the head of marketing at this aviation tech company. She's open to meeting with my candidate for drinks this week, hopefully. She's also trying to meet another candidate for drinks for the creative director position, but he seems to be tough to kind of get a hold of. So I'm gonna actually give him a quick email and text right now as well. And then we also just recalibrate on her demand, on her roles, for asking further clarifying questions on both the creative director and the business development roles. Yeah, things are looking really good. I just want one of these to pop ASAP. It's gonna be a crazy 3 weeks, really pushing as much as we can to try to pop at least 1 or 2 offers before the New Year's. Oh my God, so I just got the phone with this ad tech client of mine, spoke with their head of HR. The founder wasn't able to make it. They really like my candidate, but they're telling me like they don't think they can hit 200 and my candidate's like minimum 200, which is gonna be crazy. Fun negotiations all over again. So our candidate right now is making about 250. I'm not sure if that's the base or I'm not sure if that's a base plus commission, but all in he's making fine 250 for sure. He's willing to be flexible to about 200. He was more flexible to about 170, 180, but then after talking to other companies, seeing where their offer is gonna land at and doing a lot of reflection, it seems like 200 is really kind of the ideal minimum for him. So I just need to kind of reach out to him, feel him out again, just to see exactly how flexible he is and how much of a deal breaker like 180 or 190 would be. I also encourage the company that, you know, if they can't hit 200, what at the highest base that they can do would be great. If not, they'd have to just come up with creative solutions. What about a sign-on bonus? What about equity? What about like a guaranteed bonus or something like that, so that it can make the candidate feel that he's not getting a bad kind of outcome here. So yeah, just overall making sure like, you know, we can come up with a solution so the candidate does not feel like he's getting gypped or having a bad outcome. So I'm gonna have to follow up with the founder tomorrow directly. I'm going to try my best to reach out and talk to the candidate in about 5-10 minutes. See if he can chat. This is not gonna be easy as suspected. I mean, honestly, if they could hit 200, I think there's 90% chance candidate would say yes. We're gonna have to see what we can do, but the candidate's excited, company's excited, and it sounds like, at least in this situation, the company can have some wiggle room, but it really comes down to the founder. So we'll see what happens. So I was able to briefly hear back from the team, and it seems like they're gonna reach out to you, I think, in the next day or two.
I'm super excited. I thank you again, Preston, because I would love to get that position.
I know, you know, so just to make sure we're on the same page, I know when I first met you, right, you said that ideally you'd be looking for 200, but for the right opportunity that you would be flexible to like 160, 170. After talking to you earlier today, it sounds like you're kind of now modifying that and staying pretty firm on 200. So I want to ask you 2 things. Number one, you mentioned that you're roughly around 250 now. Is that just pure salary, or is that salary plus commission?
It's salary plus commission, and as a note, I'm working as a consultant, so I'm still under a consultancy status with a job.
So I just wanted to ask you, like, ideally you did say firm, and I want to obviously do right by you and get you something that you're targeting. But, we had a wonderful discussion earlier today, and what, for your next role, so you hit really everything you're looking for in terms of your job. So, and I would hate for, things to get complicated about salary. So I want to just revisit this one more time with you. You said ideally, and again, this is a W-2 full-time position. So you can it's an opportunity for you to kind of get out of that consulting life as well. So are you really not going to consider anything underneath 200? Like, what if they're able to throw in like a sign-on bonus or another bonus or equity, or do you think you might have a little bit more of an open mind depending on the other variables?
Yeah, ideally, I would love to have 200K plus equity. That's my dream, to be honest with you. No, to be honest, 200K is my minimum, and you know what? It's because I think this is the right price for me right now. I mean, regarding of what I'm paid to the job. So equity will be very interesting for me as well. But 200K, yeah, I mean, I think it's my minimum in terms of fixed salary.
They have a very robust product and other differentiating factors. So 200, I will obviously push, but if there's a scenario where 200 is too high for them, I would hate for you to be like, hey, that's a deal breaker. First of all, I'm just talking hypotheticals, but I just want to be able to cover all bases with you right now. Are you telling me you're willing to walk away from them if they truly can't hit that?
Walk away, I mean, yeah, it will be sad, but the problem is, again, this is what I'm paid right now, so that would be concerning for me. I will definitely take some time to think about it.
People are flexible to a certain degree if they're, if there's equity involved or bonus, but
No, for sure. If you have a clear proposition that I can look at, honestly, I will be happy to discuss. But technically, I know in my head 200K was really my limit right now. And I'm not closing any doors.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just giving you my position, my point of view on that. But I can totally understand your concern. Yeah.
Okay, so spoke with my candidate again, and he does sound firm on 200. But what I also need to hear is that if for any reason they can't hit 200, will he still have an open mind? Because they're still willing to do and play around with other levers like sign-up bonus, different types of bonus, guaranteed bonus, performance bonus, to still make it worthwhile. I just need to hear it for myself that if they can do that, he's still willing to have an open mind, which it sounds like he is. So that's good news. I'm gonna have to relay this back to them. I'm gonna have a chat with the founder tomorrow, and from there we'll hopefully come up with the best course of action. So where did you kind of last leave things with them?
Saying that they'd like to offer me the position, and then working through the details of the official offer letter.
Oh, wow. Okay, congratulations. Are you in later stages with other companies as well?
No.
Okay. Once you get the terms, please reach out to me. Let's definitely chat. If for any reason, you have questions, you want to talk more, you want to see what we can do, that's our main role for you. Do what we can to make sure that if you're going to make a decision, you're really excited about everything. So I know that you also said for the right opportunity, you would be flexible with salary, but ideally you kind of be looking for that 120 mark. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Maybe they can't hit 120, for instance, and they came at 110 or 115. I don't know. Is that still kind of okay for you?
Yeah, obviously I'd like to stay within that relative range, but I'm also interested in other benefits. I think bonus would be a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Benefits.
For sure. I do know that their benefits are stellar. They're also remote first as well, right? So that's obviously a huge plus. And as I told you, equity, they're already a Series D. Company's doing well. And as the team probably reached out, there's no reason why they can't continue and kind of think about IPO. So, all right, talk to another candidate for a product designer. She's also with the fintech company. And I was a little bit worried because when I spoke with the hiring manager, they said that she's ideally looking for 120. The best they could probably do is probably 100 or 110. But when I talked to her, it sounded like, depending on the equity, the benefits, 100, 110, 115 could, definitely be a possibility, which is awesome. And so it seems like the company is going through her references. If those go well, they should reach out to her with terms on Friday. So yeah, fingers crossed. And oh my God, it's gonna be great. That's good news. So right now it's almost 5 p.m. I still gotta finish my sourcing. Got a couple of YouTube videos to edit. Got a lot of sourcing for tomorrow. Probably gonna hit product managers, product designers all over again. Still have many more clients to sync up with for engineer positions, 2 new clients, another product design position. So yeah, a lot of things in the works. So woo, it's gonna be a busy December, but I'll take it.
I think the best we can offer is 185 and a quarterly bonus of 17.5.
Sorry, so how much would the bonus amount to exactly?
So 70K for bonus if he meets those expectations. And then the base salary is like 185K, so that brings us to a total of 255.
In an ideal world, he's kind of, not preferring to go below 195 for salary, but it seems like, if 185 is the best you can do, or at least the total comp here is hitting 250 or above. But I mean, is there any way, for instance, to come up on the salary and you can even give him like a lower bonus?
I don't think so. I think that's like literally, that's like it. And it's like if at this point that he can't, if that doesn't work for him, then I think maybe we're gonna move on. But that's the absolute best we can do because he's coming in at an AVP level, and that's like higher than like what the current AVPs here make Preston. And so, and I really like him. Everybody really likes him. We would love to work with him, but we also have to sort of like think about the business and like at this point in time, like what we can afford is like 185, and then I'm happy to give those quarterly bonuses.
And then you said equity in 3 months. So is equity? I guess it's not guaranteed, right? There's a possibility of equity.
Precisely, and and that's even like sort of like my arrangement here. Like my 3 months is coming up December 7th, and at that point we're going to talk about like equity shares, and I can assure you she's going to offer it to me, right? So like I know for a fact that that's something she would do for him, like if he performs well, and so at some point, like I can imagine he would also be awarded equity.
Not that far off here. Like, I think what you're offering, what he's looking for, there's such a small gap.
Yeah.
I just don't know how he's going to respond with this current deal because, he said that he's willing to be more flexible if equity's guaranteed. It sounds like equity's not even guaranteed. We can't hit his salary. We're offering a bonus. So I think there's still a chance.
If there's any wiggle room, there's probably wiggle room around like that quarterly bonus, right? Like
I understand that you're paying your AVPs here, but like please also keep in mind there's a lot of people we're not sending you just because like they're asking for a lot more. So like I know you have your internal levels, but like what the market is demanding right now, like it's for good talent, it's quite pricey, but at least in this aspect, like you're not that far off here. Like it's not like he's looking for 250 salary, you know what I mean? So if there's anything you guys can do, like I would definitely encourage it. If you're telling me, hey, this is the best we can do, then then we can give it a go. But I've tried my best with him. Please do your best shot. If you can maybe emphasize that there is maybe possible wiggle room on the bonus, how much he can grow, like really paint that picture again. I think that's the best we can do, and I will do my best to follow up with them and see if we can kind of push him across the finish line. All right, so I just got off the phone with my client. So my candidate for the AVP paid media is actually at my client's office right now. The head of HR called me, wanted to chat with me about what they could do with the salary. Just to recap, he is again looking ideally for 200 plus bonus. He's willing to be flexible to 195, which is really not that flexible. If there's equity and bonus, they told me that the highest they can offer is 185 plus bonus with no guaranteed equity. So if you were me, what would you be thinking? Yeah, I think it's too low. The good news though is that the equity and bonus should equal, if he performs well, over 250,000, which is exactly what he's making now. So I think at least they have that. She's gonna go to the candidate and extend, and depending on how that goes, I will be chatting with my candidate later today, see if we can close him. But my gut's telling me that he's such a stickler for his salary, and he's really not that flexible. And the funny thing is, like, he's not even a full-time employee, he's consulting. So that's in and of itself not the most stable. So he has a chance of overall making his total cash comp equivalent to what he is now. He has more of a stable W-2. He has benefits, he has bonus, he has perks, he has all the things he could be asking for and a chance to grow. So my mind is going to be focused on all the different levers that we can pull to help sell this thing and close him. But even though it's low, it's not that low. I think there's some stuff that we can work with. I still am TBD whether or not I'm going to be connecting with the founder either today or tomorrow, just to see if maybe if I talk to her directly, she can be more lenient on certain aspects, but we'll see what happens. But it's good news, but not the best news. I don't feel 100% confident that this can close, but at least an offer is an offer. And now just try to connect with my candidate and see if we can get him across the finish line so that he can officially accept. Let's make it happen. The question to you is, are you just gonna take the one with the most money, or to have a little bit more of a long-term view? But you know,
so as soon as I receive their offer, I will be able to tell you this.
Might still have a chance if they can't even, match that.
Yeah, because I still need to look at the right now it's just conversation. So as soon as I will have the offer, I can do some projection and evaluate over 1 year what I can make. And
okay, because I just wanted to have a chat with you, because typically if you get two offers, most people would just would choose the higher offer. Even if we negotiate, that still can't match it. But I think finance-wise, long-term, it can definitely match or even surpass what you're making. But most importantly, when you and I first spoke, you told me that for a new job, you really want to be part of an internal team and help grow the company, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you're right. I agree with you, and that's what I'm saying. This is the job of my dream.
So they're offering you what, 312, 315?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 24.
And are they also offering bonus, equity, benefits?
No.
Oh, wow.
312, yeah.
Oh, okay. So okay. So it's just the salary play, and it's a higher salary with you working at a client, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's completely two different.
Right now, cash-wise, I know that they probably wouldn't be able to match or even come close to that. But I know that with equity, with bonus, all in, I think it's still between the 250 to 300. So there's a delta there, but that gap will fill very, very quickly. Don't make any final decision. I want to talk to you first, because there's always something that we can always do for you. I want to be crystal clear with you. So I want to have a chat with you, and then we can help navigate to help you get to a situation where you can make a hard decision, okay? Oh my God, so my candidate that has an offer with my ad tech company, he went for a final round just to show the office, see the office, meet other people, everything looking great. The founder, they love him, they want to move forward to an offer, but as you know, he's looking for at least 200. They can only offer him 185. And then I hear from that he got another offer from another company right now, offering him $315,000. I think it's done. I don't think somebody can look at that and objectively walk away from it. Oh man, I know my client's gonna come out with 185 plus bonus plus maybe promise of equity. It's just not gonna be enough. I think the gap is so big. It's one of those deals where it's so hard to say no. It's an offer so good you can't say no to, and that is exactly what's gonna happen here. It's gonna be a miracle that my candidate goes the other way. Yeah, I try to feel him out to see how much of that, how much of our client is still exciting for him, and he mentions like he really still loves their client so much, and it's a tough position to be in, and I understand that. But it's now Thursday 6 p.m. He's definitely going to want to receive both offers, think over it Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and then coming Monday he's going to want to talk to me again, and then at that point we can determine the best way to move forward. It's either he's just going to downright reject our offer first thing Monday, or if he realizes that money's not everything, we would do whatever we can to make that happen. So I think all in, our client's at $250. They're offering him $300. I think if we're talking about a $50,000 gap, I know my client can come up on salary. I don't know if they can have that much room on bonus, and I don't know if my candidate would go with my client without any changes. Maybe even with changes, I'm not sure if my candidate will go with it. Oh, super stressful. We thought we had this in the bag, but like as this continues to progress, it's getting more and more complicated. And from my experience, most people, given the two situations, and now, a comp that's 50K more, it's hard to kind of say no to that. But we'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep working it every single day, try our best to stay positive, relaxed on Monday, and try to push this the other way, but not the way we want to end this week to go. But what can you do in recruiting? You just gotta be prepared for what's thrown at you, and you just gotta adapt and problem solve. So here we go. Basically, they offered him a salary of like $315,000.
Oh my God.
But wait, but before you freak out, they're not offering him bonus, they're not offering him equity, so it's just a salary, and it's just a salary and benefits thing. And money is not everything to him, but like, it's one of those crazy situations where he wasn't expecting to get this offer in the first place, and if he did, he really wasn't expecting it to be like this big. Most likely you guys won't be able to compete with that salary, but he also does understand you can offer bonus and tons of growth and potentially equity as well. So I just wanted to kind of sync up with you real quick, maybe before you send any terms, to if there's anything that we can do just to kind of close that gap, then now is the time. Because I think when you and I spoke, you said that with everything in total for cash, you're probably looking at a little over $250. So we're looking at a $50,000 delta. I'm not expecting you to close that at all. I'm just, I just want to share with you the facts and all the information we're getting. And he understands it's apples and oranges. The deals are the offers are completely different. And like, his heart and his passion is more with you than this other company. It's just hard to ignore this ridiculous, financial salary, as anyone would. So
to her, he's the best candidate she's spoken to, just because he has that growth mindset, which is what's appealing to her. So let me speak with her, and we'll get back to you.
He knows that the salary is absolutely ridiculous, but all the intangibles, his heart, his soul is with you guys, and so I just want to see if we can do anything else, kind of a last hurrah to make ourselves more competitive. That's all.
For the sake of transparency, there was another candidate that Matt spoke to earlier today, and he really liked her as well.
Okay.
And so we're talking to her separately tomorrow.
So I basically told him I'm going to sync up with him on Monday. He's probably going to get the other offer tomorrow. He wants the weekend to mull it over. He's not going to make any hard decisions by Monday. And I think depending on how that goes, I would love to chat with him one more time and see if we can iron this out. Don't know what they're gonna do. It sounds like there might be some wiggle room with equity, which is great, because up until now, their whole position with equity was that they can't guarantee it. Maybe a possibility of 3 months down the line. So if there's anything we can do, that'd be great. And of course, they interviewed another candidate today who they also really loved. Most likely, she's probably a lot cheaper. So I think if that goes well, they're probably gonna be less excited to just stretch too much with my candidate, which sucks. The founder still very much is excited about my candidate. So just doing what we can. And if it means talking to my clients late in the evening, so be it. Just do whatever we have to maximize the chance of this happening. We've gotta fight for it every single day. So we'll see what happens. happy Friday. Just wanted to give you a quick update with the ongoing deal that's happened. So I've been going back and forth with the HR director at my client, who also has been going back and forth with the founder. It seems like there might be some wiggle room that could be done on the equity, which will be great, because after talking to my candidate yesterday, it seems like equity could be a game changer. But pound for pound, compensation wise with my client and the offer that he got for $315,000, there is no comparison. I think if he can find a way, if my candidate can find a way to remind himself all the reasons why he loves my client and all the things he really wants in his next job, our client checks off all the boxes. Even though he might have to take a little bit of a drop in terms of comp, that can catch up very quickly because my client is willing to give him bonus and equity. His offer for $315,000 does not come with bonus, it does not come with equity. So if you made it this far and you're watching, I'm curious, what would you take? Would you take an offer for $315,000 cash with a company you're not really that excited about, or a company that you're really excited about? You have an amazing team, amazing growth, amazing perks, everything offers equity, bonus, and tons of growth. Are you gonna be looking for short-term gratification, cashing out cash, or you be looking at long-term? And also keep in mind that with my client, all in, including the bonus and cash, my candidate would be able to make a little over $250,000, $260,000. So it's not as large as $100,000. The gap is more like $50,000, $60,000. You can still feel the difference, I think, cash-wise, but I think once he performs well and the company continues to perform, he can grow very quickly. Right now, everything is slated for me to regroup with him on Monday, and hoping if that goes well, we can figure out the best direction on how to proceed moving forward. This is also a really big lesson that if you're working as a recruiter internally or on the agency side, you always want to do your best to find backup. So I will, even despite all this, even despite any candidates going through offers, I always continue to source and outreach, because if that candidate doesn't go through, if they get rejected or they withdraw, I immediately can present a plan B and I don't have to waste time in starting a brand new search. So this is very important. You never want to have your eggs in one basket. Of course, I'm hoping that this happens and this is a number one priority for me, but you know, in the case that it doesn't, I'm kind of feeling a little bit less confident, just seeing how the past day or two played out. The unfortunate thing here is that they have a candidate, my client has a candidate that they also like a lot. It came from somewhere else, and because of that, unfortunately, I think that's going to make my client a little bit less inclined to stretch as much as they should to close mine, because they know that most likely they like this other candidate, not as expensive as mine. And so, you know, if it doesn't work with my candidate, then so be it. You know, they're just gonna work with someone else or go with someone else, which is not the best situation for me. So this is why it's still really important for us to operate with a sense of urgency to find a plan B. But still got a bunch more things to do, and then hitting product, hitting marketing, and engineering today, and probably gonna continue hitting engineering, product, and any other outstanding roles starting Monday or Tuesday. So far, good Friday. All right, happy Friday afternoon. Just finished all my calls here. Still got 2 more interviews set. Everything is going really well. But as you know, like any Week in Life videos, this is the time where I just have to say goodbye and thank you for yet again watching another Week in Life video of what I do every single week. This week was, of course, a little bit different considering it was the tail end of Thanksgiving, so I technically only worked half a week. We're still battling one offer, as you heard me talk a lot about earlier today and yesterday. Honestly, not that confident about it, but we will continue to do our best to find plan Bs and plan Cs. Also, we remember even during the holiday last week, we ended up losing another offer where a candidate withdrew. So Thanksgiving break this year has been brutal for offers, but with that said, there are some things in motion. We have 2 candidates. We have a product analyst and product designer right now for our fintech company that are progressing through reference rounds, hoping if everything continues smoothly and positively, we can push for an offer. And knowing my fintech company as much as I love them, they don't really do their best in stretching and offering an amazing salary. It's typically average or below average, so it's gonna require us to really play an important role to really sell and help close and get these done. We also have a lot of other things that are simmering with other associate account directors, biz devs, and even product professionals, product positions. So we'll see what happens, and hoping we can do not one, but maybe a couple offers next week between now and the holidays. We're also trying to scramble and reconfirm things with current and brand new clients. If those go through next week, we will be picking up more engineering, product, I believe, biz dev and design roles. So that should definitely help us stay really, really busy December and coming into New Year's. Next year will only be the same as this year or the year before if you don't have clear goals and you don't execute. So if anything, I urge you guys and I challenge you to have clear goals coming to next year and really, really make a plan to execute not once, not twice, but consistently over time. And if you can do that, results will start to compound over time. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up. As you know, I try my best to include your questions in future videos. And so please feel free to reach out to me here on YouTube, or feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, or if there's anything else that you want to see, anything related to recruiting, hiring, tech, startups, running, entrepreneurship, more than happy to share with you my 2 cents and my point of view. Also, if there's anything that really stood out to you in this video that you're really excited about or resonated with you, please comment below. Again, always happy to hear from you, as at the end of the day, if you're working for yourself as a contractor or a solopreneur, or you own your own small business, it can at times be very tough, very challenging, and also very, very lonely. So it's always really cool for me to interact with you all, and feel free to reach out to me on multiple platforms, as it really gives us the energy and focus to continue doing well. But aside from that, if you are as excited as I am to finish next 3 weeks off, to finish 2021 off, to really create the perfect ending for all of that work that you put in throughout this entire year, please consider liking, subscribing, clicking that bell, or even sharing, as it really helps us out to grow a kick-ass community with you all, and really gives us the focus and productivity and motivation to keep on building and making amazing videos for you. But aside from that, I only got a couple more outstanding items to complete. We still have 2 more interviews left. So even though I'm gonna be slowing down and getting ready for the weekend, I will still be alert. I will still be aware of the interviews. In the event that anything happens, I will have to be there to make sure everything gets resolved. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you on the next one.